Welcome to this week's Fowl Friday Tip of the Week, brought to you by HP Outdoors. Here's your hosts, Josh Palm and Dan Harushka.
Hey everybody, it's Josh and Dan, and we're here with another Fowl Friday quick tip of the week. So it's that time of year where we've all waited for the cold weather set in, and it's finally time to get out there and start chasing those late season migrating ducks. Well, here's a couple tips to help you out with some of the challenges that you're going to face along the way. One of the most important things to deal with when you're talking about hunting the late season is weather, and it's taking advantage of those weather changing events, those big push days. So whether it's extreme north and northwest winds, or you've got snow up north that's going to push a lot of birds down, or colder temperatures in your area, high winds that are going to make birds fly a little bit more. Those are the days that you want to make sure that you're out in the field and you're taking advantage. It's so common that you'll see birds rafted up in open water, just kind of sitting together and not really doing much. Well, some of these weather changes will make those birds get up off the water and kind of fly around a little bit. And those are the days that you're going to be out there and really capitalize on your opportunities. So definitely make sure that you're hunting those big push days or taking advantage of any kind of weather changes that you're seeing in your area. The other thing that I'll point out is, a lot of times in the late season, a lot of the water is going to be locked up. So you might be forced to hunt a lot of the same areas or in close proximity to the same areas day after day. A lot of the birds that you're going to be hunting might be the same exact birds. At this point, it becomes really critical to not show the same spread. And I would challenge you to even show a different spread every single day. And this doesn't have to be a lot of significant changes to your spread, but one day you can set a slightly smaller spread, downsize it a little bit. The next day you can bulk it up a little bit, make it a little larger. You're definitely going to want to tighten up your decoy spacing a little bit for the later times of the year. But one day you might want to set them in groups. The other day you might want to set them in one big raft. One day you might want to have a mojo or two out there, spinning wing decoy, and the other days you might not want to. Maybe throw a couple confidence geese in there, something like that, just to kind of mix it up so that the ducks are seeing something different every single day, so that you're not just going out there and showing them the same thing over and over again. That will definitely help you capitalize on some of those late season wary ducks, that have seen pretty much everything in the book as they've come down the flyway. Dan, what other tips can guys use to help capitalize on late season ducks?
Late season ducks, let's talk about calling, or rather, let's talk about the lack of calling. One thing you want to do, these birds have seen a ton and they get very leery. So I would probably tone down the calling. They're going to be circling a lot more than what they usually do in the early season, and they're going to be looking for you. They're going to be looking for where the noise is coming from, and most likely they're going to pick you out if you're blowing too hard on the call. And when it comes to calls, when it gets super cold, we've seen some guys out in Montana that, their beards are freezing to their jackets because it's so cold. You're talking negative 20 wind chills. Keep your calls in your pocket. Once you start spitting in them a little bit and it's that cold, your calls are going to lock up. So when you do need them, they won't work. So that's just another tip for you. Another thing I'd say is go overboard with natural camouflage. You could use any kind of, netting or anything you want as a base, but once it gets in the late season, like you said, they've seen it all. They're a little bit leery. Make sure that you build into your blind natural vegetation. And, it's just something that keeps you covered up well, and you cannot overlook that. The last thing I'm going to say, and this is coming from personal knowledge, keep your shotgun clean and dry. You probably don't want to use a petroleum product. It's going to, gum up on you. You're going to have trouble with it. Use degreasers. Make sure that there's no moisture in your gun, or else you're going to have a heck of a time. And when you're sitting out there in the cold, the last thing you want is a gun that doesn't work properly.
So the late season can offer you some of the best ducking opportunity of the entire year. There's a couple things you need to keep in mind. Hopefully you can use these tips on your next late season hunt to help you be more successful.
Looking for more waterfowl hunting tips and techniques? Visit hpoutdoors.com or subscribe to the HP Outdoors Waterfowl podcast on iTunes.